Chemistry is the study of matter, but I prefer to see it as the study of change. Now, just think about this. Electrons, they change their energy levels. Molecules change their bonds. Huh? Elements, they combine and change into compounds. Well, that's all of life, right? I mean, it's the constant, it's the cycle, it's solution, dissolution, just over and over and over. It is growth.
You want to cook crystal meth?
That's right. Then decay. Then transformation.
What happened?
I won. It is fascinating, really.
What does Mr. White's growth stem from? I am awake. Showing that Mr. White has a brand new perspective on life once finding out he has cancer and knowing how much time he has left. Mr. White is a rule follower. The law, his wife, his job. He doesn't rock the boat and does exactly what he's supposed to according to society, but he hasn't been rewarded. If anything, he's constantly had things taken away from him. His company, his son's health, his pride, and now his life. What does following all the rules matter when doing everything right lands you in a worse space than the ones who operate outside of the lines? Mr. White started to take control of his own story. The first sign of this was him quitting the car wash.
Fuck you, Bogdan. What? I said fuck you! And your eyebrows! Wipe down this!
Him hurting the kid who was bullying his son.
What are you doing? What's wrong, Chief? Having a little trouble walking?
Get off me! Get off me!
Mr. White's biggest attempt at gaining control of his life was obviously going on a ride along to see how a meth lab is set up.
Get a little excitement in your life.
Killing Crazy 8 seemed to be the last semblance of his old self that shines through, as he only chooses to kill him after he has no choice, after almost letting him go. Mr. White's biggest showing of his growth of control was him standing up for Jesse and his product by taking Tuco head on after he beat Jesse and stole his meth by blowing up his trap house, even snagging an extra 15 grand for Jesse's pain and suffering. Is Walter decaying into something he's not, or is it the persona he's been forced to humble himself into? The fugue state. Mr. White starts to decay into Walter White moonlighting as Heisenberg. He faked an episode in order to explain his absence over his past couple days after being kidnapped by Tuco. The aftermath results in Skylar becoming more suspicious of Walt's lying, especially with the 2 phone situation.
Your cell phone, did you bring it?
Which one?
Which comes back around later. But if you notice, the more his wife and son pull away, the deeper Walt dives into the drug game. After a fight with Skylar over her smoking cigarettes while pregnant, and his son spending less time at home, Walter brings Jesse a gun and orders him to kill a junkie couple that robbed their dealer. Mr. White starts to decay into a Walter who lies to his family in big ways to keep it secret. In those lies starts to shape a new Walter White, and his personality around his loved one starts to become an act of his old self, but not genuine.
Dad's cooking breakfast.
But don't worry, I'm also doing all the dishes. Huh? Nice. Follow me. There's also orange juice and grapefruit juice.
His second life is where he's his most honest, and having to suppress himself to his family makes him more aggressive in the drug game. Outside of the drug business, he's his most honest with Gretchen during their lunch when she confronts him for lying about her and Elliot paying for his treatment. We get more of an explanation of what happened with Walt and Gray Matter, but not entirely. The important part is Walt sees betrayal and millions being made off the back of his work. Now his work is in his hands and he sees the value that the drug landscape sees and has in his meth, his chance to build an empire in his own right. Around the time of the good news about his tumor shrinking 80%, Walt, instead of being happy, seems more upset and has several surreal moments, like him punching the dryer in the hospital bathroom after the good news, him giving his son too much to drink and almost fighting Hank.
Hey! Bring the bottle back. My son, my bottle, my house. It's all right. What are you waiting for? Bring it back. The bottle. Now.
What's going on?
To him replacing a water heater and getting rid of the rot, maybe symbolizing his own rot. All the things that Walt has done up until this point was under the assumption that he was dying and wouldn't have to live with it anyway, but at least his family would be taken care of. The heinous things he's done in the meth business so far is rot that you can't see unless you look close enough if you're his family. And he can't get rid of it, so Walt having more time means he has to live with his rot and the product of it. $400K that he can't even share with his family that he risked his life and freedom for, and he can't even enjoy it and be proud of it with anybody. The decay finds its way from Walt's personality to his marriage when Skylar finds out about his lies, medical bills, and him dealing drugs and kicks him out, limiting his access to his house and kids.
Get your restraining order right here. Restrain this.
In this whole process, Walt is trying to stay out of the drug game, although he's being offered a very lucrative job as Gus's cook.
I'd like you to hear my offer, notwithstanding.
It won't change my mind, I'm sorry.
$3 million for 3 months of your time.
3 million?
May I take this as a yes?
When Walt learns about Jesse cooking blue meth, he becomes territorial about his product, even insecure.
What in the hell is this? What? What? This is my product. This is my formula. This is mine.
It's our product. But yeah, I was gonna cut you in.
Oh, you were gonna cut me in? No. I cut you in.
After trying to bogart his way back into his marriage and home, Walt eventually gives in to Skylar's divorce and Gus's offer to what seems to be just to keep Jesse from profiting off of his hard work, similar to Elliot and Gretchen. At this point, Walt seems to be feeling better than we've seen him since the beginning of the season, going headfirst into his new venture with an optimistic outlook. I believe Walt's transformation begins when he's sleeping on his daughter's room, trying to force his marriage to work literally. His wife is disgusted with him to the point where she cheats on him with her boss just to make him leave and tells him to his face.
I fucked Ted.
I'm talking with Ted.
And he just wants to nice husband his way back into her heart. He's fired from teaching when he fails to get back at Skylar by trying to clap the principal.
Well, hey! Walt, what's wrong with you?
And in the same day discovers Jesse is cooking without him, all while simultaneously resisting the urge to get back in the meth business. With all these situations piling on him after a quick talk with Gus and seeing the lab, Walt decides to take his offer of $3 million for 3 months of work and grant Skylar the divorce she's been wanting for some time.
A man provides for his family.
This costs me my family.
When you have children, you always have family. They will always be your priority, your responsibility. And a man provides. And he does it even when he's not appreciated, or respected, or even loved. He simply bears up, and he does it. because he's a man.
This signals a transformation of a man who is trying to make enough before he dies to someone who, as far as they're concerned, is no longer on a timeline for death, but still has a family to take care of, and this time in a significant way. Walt is no longer trying to hide himself from anyone, except his son and the law, but he's free with the new independence from his wife to have what he's been in search of since the beginning: control. Control over his life, his decisions, his finances, with no obligations to explain himself. But this is just the first layer.
I am the danger.
Walt is in a bad position after getting on Gus's bad side when he kills his cornerman, who killed a kid who killed Combo, who was the brother of a girl Jesse tried to sell drugs to from his AA meeting.
You're nothing to me but customers!
That he ended up dating. Jesus, Jesse had way too many domino effect and 6th degree of separation type of situations. Anyway, this time around, Gus wants Jesse gone. Walt won't let it happen, so he hides Jesse. And knowing Gus won't stand for the disrespect of the chain of command, kills Gale as his only viable replacement for a cook, forcing Gus to work with Walt and Jesse for the moment.
Well, get back to work.
Walt is now on a mission to kill Gus and is being very defiant while working for him.
Hey! Hey! This is a two-man job. I can't do it alone. I'm done. That's it. Finished. Nothing else happens until I get my partner back.
He already knows his fate, so why be cordial? As Gus starts to create a wedge between Walt and Jesse by making him feel more useful, Walt plans a strategy of top-tier manipulation on Jesse, which is his full-fledged butterfly out the cocoon, ultra instinct, autonomous transformation. He's no longer holding back, even if he isn't telling his son and other family the truth. His personality is certainly not the same. He's his own man now. No one controls him. No one belittles him. Everyone answers to him, and he's done explaining himself. He's Heisenberg, and he'll do whatever it takes to assert his absolute dominance. He is the danger. Once Gus tells Walt that he'll kill him and his family,
I will kill your wife. I will kill your son. I will kill your infant daughter.
Walt goes into hyperdrive to execute his plan, poisoning Brock just enough to send him to the hospital, getting rid of the ricin so that Jesse would think that Walt poisoned him, knowing how much Jesse loves that kid, and the only thing keeping Gus from killing Walt is Jesse. So having Jesse intentionally turn on him as a last result to blame Gus for Brock possibly dying was next level evil strategic thinking, in less than 24 hours at that, all because his revolver landed on a plant, and with a gun to his head, he still has the time to compliment himself.
Think about it. It's brilliant.
Although most of Walt's murders have been self-defense or to protect Jesse, those deaths don't weigh on Walt like they did with Crazy 8, because he's getting what he wants and improving his life. Not even Gale, although he didn't kill him, he had no problem with him dying and doesn't give him a second thought after. Much like the kid that Todd kills, knowing that he didn't have to die most likely was no threat, yet Walt doesn't lose any sleep over it despite having kids of his own.
I mean, I'm the one who's the father here.
Because his future is secure. Without a doubt now. To him, it's just the nature of the business. Even choosing to work with Todd after knowing what he is, just not to be lonely. Putting a hit on several of Mike's men in prison under the guise that they might talk and give him up. The time Walt spent on his own without Jesse and Mike, he is doing what he's always wanted to do, his way. Neglecting and ignoring how Skylar feels about him and who he's become, and not seeing how unhappy she is because Walt's only concern was him being free and in control. As long as he thinks he has that, everyone and everything else should be fine. Walt is a manipulative, narcissistic, prideful, and arrogant as a drug kingpin or billionaire can be naturally. But in the end, Walt does what he's been justifying his actions by, which is trying to take care of his family. He also admits that he did what he did for so long because
I was good at it.
Although he wasn't very good at it at all outside of the chemistry, but there you go. Mr. White grew, Walt's humble shell decayed, and he transformed into what was lying dormant the entire time. Bryan Cranston. Good night, everybody.